Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dex. What's up with y'all today, man? Hey, I got so much on my mind today, but before I get into all that, before I even get started, got my co-host with me as always. What's up, man?
Good afternoon.
Hey, you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. I am Randi, the co-host of Quiet Money Podcast.
Yeah. Hey, what your shirt say? I like that.
You tell me.
It says pray on it, pray over it, pray through it. Oh, I like that. That's dope. You know
Thank
what
you.
I mean? You gotta pray. Gotta stay prayed up. You know what I
Need
mean?
to pray more.
But hey, look, before I get into anything, you look beautiful today.
Thank
as
you. You
always.
look good as
You know what I mean?
well.
I do.
Hair fresh. I see you.
Appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Got the fresh clip going on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I ain't had my hair done for a couple of weeks though, but you know, it's a little expensive right now. So, you know, gotta find different ways to do it. You know what I mean?
Since when you ever been concerned about cost?
It's just, you know what I mean? It's just if I don't have to get it done, then, you know, I can use some money other ways. You know what I mean? When it comes to money, think about money. Anyway, this episode sponsored by Dex and Accounting. It is that time of the year that you guys should be thinking about your taxes. Start thinking about it now. It's getting close to the end of the year. You got to go to the best person in the world to do your taxes. That's Randi. I'll tell you guys about 100 times. You know what I mean? So hit up Dex and Accounting, right?
Yeah.
Website's working.
Website is working.
www.dexandaccounting.com. You don't need to go to the Instagram. Randy told you ain't nothing getting posted on the Instagram. So don't do that. But you know what I mean?
Close the page?
No, I'm not going to close it. I'm gonna get the content again. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But today's episode is sponsored by Dex and Accounting, and every episode until y'all start supporting us and giving us $1, $2. You know what I mean? Support the podcast.
Man, I want at least $1,000.
All right. I was just starting with something.
I know, but I'm just saying $1 to. I mean, I would appreciate.
Of course, you know what I
anything.
mean? Could you keep it
But
real, man?
it's quite the investment.
It is.
Having a podcast can be a little pricey
hmm
if you don't have the skills
Right.
to edit.
So let's be real though, because you jumping into one thing today. I know you was feeling a little down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, hey, let me tell you guys something. It's just unique. I don't want to say it's unique with our podcast, but this is with anything that you're trying to do. If you're trying to do something for some reason, things come up and it just don't work out and you get discouraged. That's just keeping it real. Randy's being discouraged or been discouraged a little bit recently. What's been going on there?
With the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't been able to get to it. Like I have content that can go out, 18 pieces to be exact. And you know what? I'm going to be honest because now I'm starting to think about it. Well, I haven't gotten to it, but why haven't I gotten to it? And I haven't made space for it.
Is
But
that
I
your
think-
new job?
but I
you
think-
ain't started a new job yet.
No,
So it
no.
ain't that.
It's not even that, but I think that there's some time that I haven't been doing it for the podcast. Like
Right,
it's time
right.
that I can use differently, but then there's also another aspect to it that I have to learn before I can post stuff. So even though my test worked, I'm like, okay, I can, post things a certain way, but now the thing that I have to figure out is what's the captions.
Right,
And
right.
when I sit and think about figuring out what some captions are, I'm like, what's a better way to do this?
And
Like
you
that's
know
what I'm thinking about.
I'll tell you, hey, to that point, I didn't even know you was going to bring that up, but to that point, that's one thing I ain't never really appreciate as much as I do now is like the consistency and like the focus and you have to be really purposeful with like social media, like when you're trying to grow your business. You can't just be out there throwing this thing out there, throwing this thing out there. It's literally got to be like really, really focused and consistent. I think we'll struggle with the consistent part of just putting stuff out there. We'll have good ideas, but like putting it out there all the time and then in a format that is kind of like identifiable to you
Right.
and not just like random. You know what I mean? So
But I'm okay with random too. I just want consistency. Like
Sure.
give me one thing to focus on is consistency. And because I haven't been consistent and I'm trying to be consistent, I'm just trying to like build a process of getting it right so I don't have to come back to this.
right.
So
But see, my thing is though, And especially with this podcast, like as much as I want people to follow it and all that, like I really want like the right person to follow it. Like that's one thing I'm learning
Right.
from other businesses. Like it ain't even about clients for real at all. It's about the right ones. Like what's that right transaction look like between you and them? What type of client are they from all aspects? Working with them, talking to them every day, sending them information, getting paid from them. Like what's the ideal person? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We learned that.
Yeah.
So I know with this, like I don't need like 50,000 people liking it just because they know me now. Like it ain't that.
Right.
Because
right.
not everybody gonna agree with what I say and how I look at life and how honest I am about it. You know what I mean? But I would want the right person to follow it that really rock with us. That's why I say it like $1, $2. Not because I'm cheap, but I just really want more the authenticity of like somebody connecting with what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And not what was saying. My bad. You know. But you know what I mean? I don't need all that fake. But I know that comes with everything.
Yeah.
So you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Stop that. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I will be appreciative of I think it starts at $3 just to support the podcast.
Right.
But I'm just saying it would be nice to just get like a lump sum of money because everything has been an investment. So it would just be nice to
be in a better space for that.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. But one thing we are getting right, as I almost knocked my mic over. One thing we are getting right this year, which I say that if you had the opportunity to do this, and I learned this more from you, I want to say this year, maybe last year, but like definitely this year more than anything is like vacationing, but it don't have to be expensive. So you could do it more frequent. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. We had a good mix.
Right. So anyway, not shocking. Once again, on this episode, we just had another quick little vacation, staycation type.
We did.
Another one, right?
Yes, we did.
So I'll, tell everybody about, because, that's your peoples and everything. But what do we do up to the birthday party and everything?
Oh, yeah. My friend had his 40th birthday.
Right.
Yeah. So his wife planned a surprise party for him. And it was a little bit more than an hour away.
Yeah, like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
There was traffic.
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half.
So, and we got a babysitter and we got a hotel.
Right.
And had a little staycation.
We went through the little checklist of everything we got to do just to be able to go. Drop this person off, go pick up food, make everybody straight. Then you finally get up to the party, try to enjoy it a little bit, get to the hotel, try to enjoy that. You know what I mean? And it's like, you got so much responsibility that it takes a while to just be able to be like, yo, I'm relaxing. You know what I mean? But we did do that. Yeah. I had a good time. Hotel was nice. Hotel was straight. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, it was a good, it
was nice.
A lot of the people at that party was making me laugh too. So that was kind of cool. I was just sitting back laughing at a lot of stuff. So that was cool. Your friends are funny. You know what I mean? But anyway, what else is going on with you today? I always take you deep early. I don't want to do that right away. But what else is going on with you? You know what I mean? Anything from your week? Anything?
Let me tell you.
What's up?
I came to this conclusion. When it comes to working out,
right?
I don't need no days off unless I really need a day off. How sometimes your body is just tired.
Right. Like you're hurting something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And you're like, okay, let me take it easy. That's the only time.
So you took some days off that you didn't need to take off?
I took off. No, but it feels like it.
What do you mean?
Because I took off. I worked out on Thanksgiving. Because I was like, okay, if you're going to be eating, you got to work out. Okay. At least, don't let all your hard work go to waste. So I was like, okay, I'm going to work out. I didn't work out that night because I was just like, okay, I worked out this morning. I'm going to be okay with that. And I'm going to enjoy my Thanksgiving. And then the following day, I did not work out. Right. And today I feel like I just feel like I'm putting on weight.
Ain't that crazy? And the thing is, it may not even be true.
Right.
But your body feels like
where's my workout?
It ain't feeling right. And then as soon as you get the workout in, it's like, you feel like your energy getting back the other way. I feel you on that.
Will you work out with me today?
What we doing? You always want to do cardio. That's the problem. I don't want to do no cardio.
Because I need to get lean with it.
I just don't like doing cardio, especially inside the house. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's go for a run.
It's cold outside, man. At nighttime, it's cool.
Are these reasons or excuses?
Hey, yeah, it is cool, dude. That ain't a lie. You know what I mean? And the kids can't go outside and be cool running around.
Why can't they?
Because it's cool.
So?
You know where I'm from, then?
I'm about to tell them.
You know where I'm from,
ladies and
yeah?
gentlemen, he is from the island of Bermuda, where it's always warm. And
I mean, it gets cold in
where
Bermuda.
winter feels like
50-something.
On the East Coast. Like
it
a
depends.
nice
It gets real damp in Bermuda. See, you gotta be from Bermuda to know.
Yeah, but I went there in the
down.
wintertime. I was wearing a leather jacket, so it's not that cold, in my opinion.
Man, like December or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
remember around that time?
I'm not saying it gets like snowy, but Slippeways. Wow, you're getting way back now.
I don't even think that club is there anymore.
That thing's been going for years. Yeah, but that was a good night there. You had on damn high boots. Damn things was crazy. Crazy. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so surprised on how nice the women were to me in the bathroom.
For real?
Yeah, because
when was this?
American.
I don't remember that. You never said nothing about that.
Yeah, they were. I was American.
And they was nice
how
to
the
you?
Conversation started.
That's what's up.
But they were asking me where I was from, and
yeah, you was looking good that night there. I remember. Yeah. I don't remember the exact outfit, but I remember the boots for sure.
Yeah, and the time frame was the song "Girl, the Way You Move It."
Yeah. No hands. Yeah, that's like what?
That was like one of the hottest things on the radio
at the time. What is that? 2010? If I had to guess, it's somewhere around there. It's somewhere around there.
And we was girl, drop it to the floor. And we were.
Hey, you remember that guy that was in there? It was like this older guy in there that was like killing the dance floor that night.
Yes.
He was killing it. This older, I don't know if he was like white
what?
or light, just light skin. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but he was killing it.
But you know what? Was he really old? Or were we just really young?
He was old.
How old was he?
Like 50-something.
See, I was thinking he was in his 40s.
No, nah.
You don't think so?
Nobody. He is doing the skank leg. Ain't nobody in the 40s supposed to be doing that leg like that. That's straight up old. It ain't even look good because it's old. Like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Mm-mm. The way he is moving his legs was more like, oh, that's that old man shit. They weren't like that's just cool in general. They weren't that. We're not gonna say that. It wasn't that. I'm just not gonna hold you. It wasn't that. It really weren't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but he was cool though. He was cool wherever his.
You just had to be there.
You had to be there though. That was a good night though. You know what I mean? Is that the same time? Is that the same year where you was at my granny's house talking about the rooms too small? Or is that another time? Is that the same
That's
trip?
another time. No, because you were living at your apartment.
Linking memories.
You were
different.
either living with at your apartment or with your uncle when we did Slippeways.
Oh, that's later then. That's later. That's later on. That's later on. You know what I mean? But anyway, hey, look, so, you know, I had to make a trip recently. Let's pour it a little bit. We had a little fun, maybe, you know. But I had to take a trip recently, you know. I'm gonna be quick. But I was telling you last night, sometimes you bump into people or sometimes you bump into situations like, and I'm telling you, listening to our podcast might be one of them, but it's like you get that word that you need, you know what I'm saying? And when you hear it, it feels good. And sometimes you don't know what to do with it. But on my recent trip that I had to take a little trip with a family member, take care of some business, you know? And as I'm coming through on the trip, you know, I sit down, get some food, have a drink, had this little peach drink, which was super crazy. It was so good. I can't remember what it was called, but it was so well. So I'm sitting there having my drink, you know, and in my mind, just like we always do, I'm thinking about my situation, how I'm feeling about it, just trying to not focus on it and, you know, just kind of level out type of thing. And that's what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? Call my grandpa, you know, pick up my spirits type of things, talking to him, you know, just going through everything. And so this guy sits next to me, right? And I'm told you this story, but I'll tell the story real fast. But, you know, this guy sits next to me and I don't know how we got on this conversation, but the first thing he was asking me was about my food and like if it was good and that kind of thing, you know. And then we started talking about something that's been impacting me. And what's been impacting me is a situation where I'm basically trying my best for things to get better and they're not getting no better. And I've been in that space for a while. You know what I mean? Trying to help somebody out that I love and make the situation better. And it's not getting better and it's actually getting worse. I tried something different now to address it. And now I'm sitting here and not sure if I'm even did the right thing with that. And this guy sits down next to me and he starts telling me, you know, should I give more detail on it, you think? No.
If you feel led to.
So I'll tell you, like, I'm sitting there and this guy sits next to me, right? And he starts talking to me about his daddy and his daddy battling drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? And it's something I hadn't really opened my mind to, but he was talking about like the ups and downs of supporting his daddy through that. And he said that he has a couple of siblings and stuff, but none of them were at the meetings with his daddy during the rehab process with his daddy. You know what I mean? Taking his daddy to all his appointments and everything. The other siblings wasn't there, but he was there. His daddy dozing off, having problems fiending for things. Like he was just talking me through the whole thing and how some days were really good and some days were really bad. And they went through a couple of years. And he says that he told me the first thing he said that got my attention. He was like, you know, what you're going through, you just happen to sit next to somebody that knows exactly how this feels. And that's how he started talking to me about his daddy. So he finishes the whole thing to say that, you know, a couple of years back that his daddy actually lost his battle. And I'm sitting there like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And he was talking about like the fact that no matter what he did and what he had to figure out was he did everything that he could do. And it didn't stop that from happening. And he had to find a way to be at peace with himself as bad as it hurt because he did everything that he could possibly do. And then he said the usual thing that you heard tons of times in the past. He was like, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. And he was just like, you know, you have to realize that you really can't do things for people. They have to do it for themselves. He was like, no matter what you do. And it just made me really think even more like that's like, as hard as that is, like it's nothing you could do sometimes. If that person, even if it's you or somebody else, if they don't have a little bit to want to do it for themselves, it don't matter what you could do. And then he said something to me, and I hope everybody takes this. I'm going to end this story real quick, but I hope you guys take this with you in your life real quick, because I'm going to take it with me. But I would say, reminded me about the right way to look at life. And he was like, you know, you just sat here and took your family member to somewhere to get them help for themselves. You're a great son. He says, you're doing everything that you could do. He says, you need to be happy about that. He says, because at the end of the day, today you got to spend time with somebody that you love. Even though that time was bad, even though that time was challenging, you got to spend time with them today and go do something for them. And he says those things are just as important as the good times. Right.
Just for him to have that perspective tells you how much he went through.
I know.
Because that's not easy to say.
No.
That's not even easy to understand. Like, okay, this person blew me the entire time. But take the perspective of just being thankful to be able to spend time with them.
Period.
But I get it though.
Period.
But that's just not easy to do.
Period. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there listening to him and I'm like, you know, once again, whether you believe in God or not, right in that moment, he gives me that thing that I need. Right there. Right on time. You know what I'm saying? Right on time. Now, this situation, driving this has been going on for years, but this is probably the time I needed to hear that.
Okay.
It was like the perfect time. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's actually now at the lowest of low. I'm actually at the moment where I'm not doing anything anymore. I've actually put my hands up now and said, my effort was not good enough. Think
I've
about
exhausted
it.
all my resources.
That's literally what this trip was about. in a way. It's basically saying, I acknowledge too that what I'm doing is not working. I want that to be the first point. Maybe y'all in your life, man, sometimes you got to acknowledge that what you're doing is not working. No matter how smart you are, no matter how good you think you are, you might not have the right answer for one situation or the next. And that don't mean nothing against you. You can only do what you could do. And sometimes you need others to help you do what is needed to be done. Getting help from the right people is huge. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So anyway, back with the story that he said, and he was like, you know, when he said that he lost the battle and I need to think about just enjoying time and appreciating that, he was like, you know, that's why in your life, and no, before he said that, he was like, that thing is coming for everybody. He was, and I knew what he meant by that. He was like, just think about it. That thing is coming for everybody. It might come for somebody one way, a different way. You saw it coming, you didn't, but it's actually coming for everybody.
Yeah.
So he said, that's why when these things happen, as bad as they are, you just keep on going, bro. Yo, I could almost cry, serious, because I just needed to hear that. Because I'm just sitting here like, I just got to keep on going. And then I also thought about the fact of like, I've been telling somebody else that for a long time, you got to keep on going. You got to keep on going. But I think it was time for somebody to say that to me. It's okay. You got to keep on going. And I also, not thinking the worst, but I also understood that I've been in situations before where it actually didn't work out in the end. So maybe that's also a possibility too. And I wouldn't want to think that, but it also opened my mind to be like, that is true in anything. People lose battles all the time. You know, it's kind of a scary thing, but like a lot of times when you go online, you listen to people talk and stuff, you hear about winning, how to win, but people be losing. You know what I mean? You be losing. There's certain battles nobody wins. You know what I mean? Certain battles, nobody wins them joints. You just hope that battle don't come to you. But you don't be winning all the time at all. You be losing. Your relationship lose a job, lose a business, get sued, lose your health, lose your family. You be losing. That's what happens in life too. Just as much as winning. You be losing. You be celebrating a baby, your new baby, burying your grandmama. That's what life does to you. That's what life does to you. And your boy was right. I wish I could remember your boy's name, but even if I did, you might not want me to throw it out there. But I needed to hear that because that's literally it. That's literally it. And I might never hear that again sometime later on in life. That's how life goes. Sometimes you learn a lesson and then you forget. You get caught up thinking that you know what's going to happen and you forget. But I've actually learned that lesson before. But I forgot.
Like learning lessons.
I know, but we always do it. We always do it.
You got me speechless.
We always do it, man. That's human nature. We learn lessons and then sometimes we just sign back up for it again. That's the truth, you know. Don't let nobody lie. We make the same bad decision all the time, not just one time. That's not true. Not for everybody. A lot of us make the same bad decision all the time. We do. It's hard. That's why the whole point is to try not to make them the first time. You know that. You know what I mean? But I needed to hear that. I appreciate him. I hope everybody that's listening, whoever you are, whether it's the 2 people that I see online when I check who downloaded this joint, or if it's the phantom 2 million people in my mind that I think really support my podcast. You know what I mean? But think about that, like in your life, like number one, it might be okay to say, I don't have the answer. It's okay to put your hand up and be like, it's not working. It's okay to realize that what you're given that's good or great is not being received like that. It's not resulting in what it's supposed to. And you just have to, and it's not easy because even me saying it right now, it sucks. Like, but you do have to realize that. And then if you need to get the help, you get the help. And just like this guy told me, don't think that the battle as you go through it means you're necessarily going to win it. Life is hard like that. It really is. So you really need to get as much help as possible. You know what I mean? And I don't know where this guy came from, but like It was like a great conversation and like 15 minutes eating chicken wings, like out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. But it was right on time. You know what I mean? You gotta love
That's
that.
beautiful.
Right on time. Right on time. So anyway, maybe when you listen to this, you might be right on time for you and your life. And maybe you're sitting there looking at a situation in your life and you think that you're giving everything to, whether it's your business, your wife or whatever, and you're looking at the outcome, and you're like, bruh, like it's not matching. Like I should be getting better. It should be better than this based on what I'm putting into it. But that ain't how it go a lot of the time. Sometimes you could put everything into something and it just fall right out the back end. And then at some point you might realize like, and have to say, well, that's what's happening. Let me stop doing that. Let me stop doing that. You know what I mean? So that was tough, but that was right on time for me. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm so glad that happened. That was part of the travel part. I did nothing. And I went to Tennessee for a very short period. You know what I'm saying? And
How long were you there for?
I was there for a short time.
Was it even 6 hours?
It was a short time. And no need for anybody to clock how many days or anything. Don't be watching me. I was there for a short period. But yeah, you know what I mean? But that's what I need. And I hope you guys take that with you. Like, be ready for life. Be ready to know that sometimes you give your all and it's going to equal success and sometimes it's going to equal failure. Like literally the same effort. Do the same 10 things in one situation, celebration. The same 10 things in another situation, fail. So don't just believe people that be telling you like it's all about doing these 10 things. No, it's not. There's a bigger thing in life. It's a bigger thing. Timing, intervention. You know what I mean? The right person at the right time. It's not about specific things. Because you literally could do them and they don't work all the time. You know what I'm saying? You could do 5 specific things when you're in college football and all the girls be loving you because you score 5 touchdowns every game and everybody love you. And then you go to the NFL and 2 of them things guys are checking and you can't do them moves no more. You got to switch it up. It's a different level. It's a different space now. So it's not about, you always got to elevate and change and be better and grow. Like it's never good enough. I realize that it's never good enough. You go in a different environment, it's different, right? Soul, sugar, stress, like we talk about. We go to Portugal with different people. Like, you know what I'm saying? We come here with different. Crazy, but it's true. You know what I mean? But anyway, as I think about getting close to the end of the year, wonder what's going on in you guys' lives. You know what I'm saying? Because every time around this time of the year, getting into the new year, you start reflecting. You start thinking about what you said you was going to do at the beginning of the year, where you're at and all that. And I know we're not going to do that yet because the year is not over. But I will say that this year has been a really great year. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like it's a transitional year because everything that's doing well is starting this year. If you think about it, like you changed some of the bit, but that was this year. So it's not growing into everything it can be because you changed it this year. You know what I'm saying? Next year is probably maybe a different ball game. Same thing with this show. I think it's going to blow. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But I would think that there's millions and billions of people out there that could relate to what I'm saying because every single person's life's got ups and downs in it. I just want to help people. You know what I mean? They can learn a lot from me. They can learn a lot from you. And I could learn a lot from other people. That's why the platforms do. I met this guy in an airport, but I could have met him in the comments. It's not like it ain't nothing. It's connection. And it's getting the information you need at the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't get it sitting in your room by yourself for the most part, but you do get it by interacting and being out there in life, participating in life, period. Participating in it, living it. You know what I mean? Not existing in it, living it, trying to do things, you know, trying to be something. That's the whole thing. That's winning, I think. The effort of trying to be something over and over and trying to be better. Because I don't think at the end, like I don't think you ever get to a level you're just like, I did it all. Like, it's not that. And even if you did, like, even if you could pick the richest person in the entire world, and I could guarantee you some things I've did they ain't been able to do. and vice versa. Absolutely true. That person who's the richest person in the world may have never drove the school bus to the farm. They might have never did it. Very possible. You might be like, I don't care about that. I'm rich. Okay, cool. But I enjoy driving the kids to the farm on the field trip. Life is so many different things to it that make you feel alive. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one thing, even though that's what you always see. That's not the only things that make you feel alive. If you really love things authentically, you know what I'm saying? You could feel alive driving a bus with a whole bunch of kids screaming and yelling at each other and calling each other names just to take some pictures with your son next to a horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can. Anybody that's really active with their kids know that feeling right there, and you could look at 10 grand on the table and that would be exciting, but it's a different exciting. It's a different gratification. It's a different feel. You would say, hey, I want both. You probably wouldn't say, I don't want the horse.
Right.
You wouldn't. Some people would. Some people would. Hello. Some people would be like, yeah, I'll check the horse later. But for the most part, if you really, it's relationship. You can't replace it. You know what I mean? Can't replace it. So everything comes with a sacrifice, whichever path you choose. That's why you got to pick your end so you can really be happy with it. Because yours might not be somebody else's. It just might not. So how could you ever be happy with it if it needed to be? If you was comparing it, you would never be happy. That's why it's kind of sad. It sounds like a basic message, but it's really not. Like, if you're literally watching something else and trying to be that, you could never really be happy. Like, it's like almost impossible.
Right,
Even if you became it, it's like impossible to sit down at night and love yourself, like really love it. Because what did you really do? Like, who is you? You know what I'm saying? And if you couldn't get what somebody else had or whatever, you would probably feel away, I guess. But what if it's some things that's there for you? You know what I mean? Just for you, like, and you're missing it because you're like trying to get somebody else's thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people's out there in that situation. Real talk, though. How many people out there are in the situation where so many things that's waiting for them to be blessed with, and they ain't even getting them or seeing them because they're trying to do somebody else's move, trying to be somebody else. The blessing sitting right outside, right around the corner, but they ain't even see it because they're trying to do somebody else's play. Like, you know what I mean? But that's what you bring in my life. You know what I mean? That's what you bring in my life. I don't do that no more.
Hey,
Thanks to
babe,
you. What's up?
You in the mood to talk?
Am I rapping? Am I rapping? I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
I might be.
I like it. That's why I'm just sitting back and just like.
No, but
I
it's
love
real.
it.
But
I love
but you know what? Your
listening.
boy at the airport set me on the energy, and that's where I'm
Yeah.
at. I apologize.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's fine. Fine.
I was wondering why you sat back, put the mic to the side, and all
Let me
that.
get comfortable.
I'm like, is she poured in today? She just sitting there listening. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
to hear you talk. It just pours right into me, and I'm like, okay.
But it's real, man. It's
Examine
real.
myself.
Let's go live our lives for ourselves. You know what I mean? And be real about it, no matter what anybody else think about it. Like, it don't matter. Like, it really don't. I told y'all in another episode, nobody cares. Like, don't forget that nobody cares. Couple people may really care, and that list gets even shorter the more successful you get. So, like, yeah, nobody really cares. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you need to care. You need to care. You know, you need to be the one that cares the most. You know, not what everybody else is thinking, but it's what you're thinking. Do you like what you look like in the mirror or not? You know what I mean? Do you like what you see? Do you like what you feel? Do you like what your day looks like? Do you enjoy how the morning and evening comes about? That's your life. You know, did you enjoy it?
I've enjoyed my day today.
You feel me? Like, it sounds crazy, but like, how many people probably go to bed at night and can't even be like, yo, I enjoyed my day, man. I enjoyed some parts of it. Like, just a couple parts of it. Like the simple things. Like, I go into bed tonight. Yeah, I had a hard XYZ day, work, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that was funny. All right, good night. Like, just simple. Something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of people that don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing that with my situation of like what it could do to you if it's only bad. if it's only bad, what it could do to you. It's like you need delight. You need delight in your life. I'm preaching today, my goodness. But you need delight in your life. With all the darkness that comes, it's like you need delight. Because if you don't have any of it, even a little bit, it's almost like you just sink. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how do you get out when you start sinking? Like, how do you get out? I don't think people realize that they be sinking sometimes. Your health is sinking. Your relationships are sinking. Things that you're doing with your friends, certain situations, they're not the same as you used to. You just kind of riding along, but it's actually like sinking. You're actually sinking. Then all of a sudden you realize, hold on, or you pass out. All of a sudden you're looking in the mirror, you're 250, like me. Like, and you know, I'm telling you, like, that to me, that's my example. Like, I didn't wake up. I got to 250 pounds, y'all. I don't know if I ever told you the number. I got to 250 pounds. I really did. But I don't think I remember ever the journey getting there. I don't remember looking in the mirror and being like, yeah, I'm probably like 210 today. Or being like, well, I'm probably like 220. Like, I don't remember doing that. I just remember all of a sudden, it was like shock value. It was just something captured on TikTok, and it was crazy to the point that outfit, I can't wear it ever again.
So did you realize it when I showed it?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, when I was stuck on the slide that day, when it looked like I was stuck on the slide that day, I didn't know until that day that it was that. But now the thing, my point with all this, you know, we ain't health critics or nothing, but my point with all this is like, sometimes you don't realize you're sinking until you're sunk.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like the Titanic, not everybody knew that boat was sinking, but when it was close to being sunk, everybody knew. So then warning signs that pop up in your life, sometimes the real light, you don't see them giants. You be sinking, little water coming out the boat, and you're riding along partying in your life, but the boat's leaking. And you're just riding along in your life like it's all good because it ain't water all in your feet and by your freaking calf muscles yet. And then what happens? One day you realize, oh, I got a little water by my calves. You know what I'm saying? Let me splash a little bit out. But you don't go patch the boat up at all. You're just still doing the same thing, but I'm going to just splash a little water out this boat. You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep going. But you know that the boat's got holes in it. But it ain't bad enough, right? Real talk. So you just keep doing it. And then at some point that water starts maybe, and this is if you're lucky, that water starts coming up and now it's on your thighs. And then it gets to your waist level. You're like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? But you always knew something weren't right. Now, the thing that's crazy with this example is that for the most part, now that water in your life is up to that waist level and you've just been splashing it out, still riding along and all that, you know what's hard now? When it's up to the waist level, now when you got to go past the bottom of the boat, it's almost impossible to do. Or it's way harder to do. And now it's harder to get out of that boat and patch it and come back. Boat's halfway full of water. It's almost like it's too late now.
It's going to take a lot of work.
It's going to take a lot of work now. But it's not too late. It's not too late. But that's one example with life. Now you might realize and hear this and be like, all right, well, where am I with it? I'm looking at my life. I'm halfway into where I don't want to be. Like I feel like the water's way up mid-level in my life. It's not going well. All right, well, it's not too late. Go patch the boat up. You know what needs to be fixed. Go get the help. And now you got to work, like Randy said, extra hard. But unfortunately, there's also other examples in life that's tough, right? And that's the one that's partying on the boat and they ain't never seen that it was a hole in the boat, ever. And there was never no water leaking in or nothing. Just one day, all of a sudden, they was drowning. Life could do that too. That's the thing that I be finding the hardest to deal with. Damn type of situations. Because I feel like I analyze other things pretty good, but like certain things that have happened, like with my brother or my granny or things where it was like out of the blue, something really terrible happened that I can't explain. Those are the things that are like been the hardest thing for me in my life. Those type of moments. You know what I'm saying? Everything else I've been kind of seeing, like with all the stuff I talk about. But those are the things that I think that are the hardest for me in my whole life. Is where I just didn't even see it coming. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that, my brother's example, now this situation, my mom's, these are just things I never saw coming, yeah. So I just be like feeling like I'm like drowning in water. You know what I'm saying? Period. And I think it's just the best way I could say it. And I don't even know sometimes how to get out of that because I didn't see it coming. You know, and I think for anybody that's listening, like there's things that could happen in life that you see coming and things that you don't, you know. There could be things that you could be in control over, put it out in the universe and all that. You're working on it, like Randy's doing. She feels bad, the podcast, you know, she's not getting to it. Okay, like that's her in her boot trying to patch the holes and be better. And okay, cool. But some things you just don't see coming. Those are like the hardest things to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things I think that you probably need the most help. And those are the things that I think knock you down the hardest, at least for me. They knock you down. You know what I'm saying? But the other things, I hope that people and we too continue to be more encouraged with the other things that we know about that we could actually control, try to be better, like simplify things. Like no matter how, if you got a relationship, but business, whatever you're doing, finances or whatever, if you know that something's not so good, don't stress too much about it because you're alive and you got a chance to try to make it better. So that's something you see every day. Like you're seeing it, you're in control of it. Oh, I wish I could make a little bit more money. I'm not getting whatever. Like, but that sometimes we let those things just take us down too far. But we don't have to because we can do something about that.
Yeah.
Right? You feel me? But the things that you can't, those are the things in life that now you've been like hit with a haymaker and you're like on the ground trying to get up before they count to 10. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully there's other things are not like haymakers in your life. But sometimes they are, you know what I'm saying? But I think if those things become haymakers in your life, then the other things that you don't see coming, you combine them, it's like knockout. That's why it's like important to have coping skills and actual skills to get through things, to get through life. You actually have to learn how to navigate certain situations. Like you actually have to learn because if you don't, they knock you down like the other things do. And then you like can't get up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Super crazy. So anyway, I know that. You hear something?
Somebody's knocking at the door.
Should I address that?
What's that?
We ain't got no, you know what it is? We ain't got no sign no more.
Yeah.
We don't got no sign no more to be able to say don't knock on the door or whatever.
While we're recording.
But it's all good, you know what I mean? But anyway, listen, y'all. Whole point of what I was saying today took y'all on something, but be encouraged in your life and know that you're not in control. And there's certain things you're going to see coming, certain things you're not going to see coming. And you just got to try to, like my man said, just keep riding this thing out. You just got to keep riding it out. You have to. It sounds silly. Well, you actually have to. You don't have a choice. What else would you do? Tap out? You're going to have to tap out. So why tap out before you got to tap out? There's no reason for that. Right, Bear?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, anyway, pray on it. Pray over it. What you praying about? Because I know you had a lot going on. I'm dominated today. That was what's on my heart. You know what I'm saying? But we'll put our son in school now. I know you're probably happy about that. We've been able to, we want to increase it, how much he gives. But I know that's a good thing. And I know you've been encouraged with how he's been progressing.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling good about that too. You know what I mean? But what else is going on with you, Bear?
I've been better at a lot of things. And I'm reflecting and just taking the time to give myself some credit.
Credit for what?
For the things or my intention on the things that I've been able to get better at. That's all I think. I think over the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing some improvements in the things. Like in the previous episode, I was like, I'm tired of my own BS.
I remember you said that. I remember.
Yeah. So I'm changing. So, but there are some, you talked about it earlier, old behaviors that kind of creep in, and I'm seeing those things too. And I'm like, wow, it's so hard to change. So that's what's going on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm praying over a couple of things. Not going to share them at this time.
That's cool. You don't have to.
See, I just want to see how the Lord is going to work in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure it'll be a testimony that I can share. But I'm definitely working on my relationship with God. Just trying to be more intentional about that quiet time because I've gotten away from it. We ain't been to church in a little bit, soccer and all that stuff. So
right.
I want to get back.
Okay.
So, but like you said, it doesn't have to be perfect because the times where I didn't go, I did put it, listen online.
Right.
So, I'm just listening to you. The last time when we potted, I told you was speaking like directly to my soul and it made me want to be better and go repent. And so.
Hey, I'll be taking us places, you know what I mean? But you know what? It's all good because whatever's in me, I'm sharing it. You know what I'm saying? And you're sharing it. And it's all good. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody ain't got to like it. But I just feel like, I don't want to say I'm one of a kind because that doesn't get sound right. But like, I don't really think it's I don't know a whole lot of people like me, man. You know what I mean? And I feel like when I say that, I feel like it's a lot of people that on the inside are like me, but they're not allowed to share that. They're like the world we live in now. You're not allowed to always just be real about things, and being real don't necessarily get you successful. Like this ain't probably the most entertaining podcast for somebody to listen to. I ain't got a whole bunch of gossip on here, celebrity news and none of that. I got my own news. I got my own life. That's what I could share with you. What we do, great. You feel me? We got a business together. We got a family together. We're knowing each other since school days and been through the ups and downs of everything, making money together, kids, relationship, everything. That's what you can learn from us. But I'm going to keep it 100. You don't need to call me and learn about real estate investments. And I don't need to put you under my man's neither. Like,
right.
I'm okay with that being somebody else's thing. We all got a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But our thing is the best because it fits everybody. And we want to hear about the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? So you got a business, you're doing something well, you was able to get all this money. Cool. Bring that to the platform. We want to hear about it. But you made some bad moves too. You want to hear about that?
Yeah.
We want to hear about both. Why not? Because both happened, right? Mm-hmm. So let's hear about both, bro. Let's hear about all the money you made and what it actually meant in other aspects of your life, other challenges, or maybe relationships going well. You had to put a pause on other things. We have to do it. It's impossible. It happens. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I enjoyed talking to you today. If y'all ain't never followed our show before, today is a good example just how real we keep it. You know what I'm saying? And go through life knowing that you just got to keep riding it out. You just got to keep going. And sometimes you need the strength from the Lord. That's the only thing that gets you through tough times sometimes. And having a good wife, that helps. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Especially if she a friend, she keep it 100. So appreciate that. You know what I mean? One thing that's I tell you, like, it ain't always about romance and all that. You know what I mean? And all that. But you really are my friend. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you. Made me better. You know what I mean? You made me better. I hope I make you better. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you just had me over here. I've been speechless all afternoon just listening to you. I appreciate that. My God. Thank you for seeing me.
I always see you. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing anything is I've always admired you. I tell you from day one, I always admired you. So, you know what I mean? That ain't changed. You know what I mean? And we compliment each other well. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to keep doing that. But anyway, make sure you follow our podcast, Quiet Money Podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're finally on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. Follow our Instagram. We got a new Instagram. What is it? You got the handle.
Well, I'm going to change it back to the old one.
Yeah. Oh, so it's going to be Quiet Money Podcast, right?
Yeah.
At Quiet Money Podcast. We actually going to have some video clips on there. So if y'all been hearing us just on audio, you actually going to see me on there. You going to see me looking good. So you can see me looking suspect because Randy sometimes catches me looking suspect. But it's all good. You're going to be able to check us out. We're going to have content out there.
Yeah.
But don't get too excited yet because we just transition. So don't go on there thinking it's about to be lit right away, but it's coming. You know what I mean?
It's coming.
All right.
All right.
Till next time. Peace.